Hey guys, it's Matthew here once again with the follow-up conclusion video for the Cospris Scion using, I don't know, Cospris, I guess, with Ice Spear, Creeping Frost, and a whole bunch of charge stacking. Just for the conclusion and the few Uber kills, pretty quick wrap up. But the character was pretty good in the end. Hit level 94 fairly seamlessly, only like a couple deaths while mapping. It's fairly smooth with the Bladestorm. You just have to fix the crit, attack speed, accuracy, all of that shit, so that your crits are pretty reliable. I did in the end spec into 3 points for area, and I think that does help quite a bit for mapping and also for Creeping Frost overlap. So if you're going to do something similar, it does pay to get just a little bit of area in the tree somehow, or somewhere on your gear, or cluster, vast power sort of thing. Something like that. All in all, the whole charge stacking thing, yeah, probably a bit of a meme. I think maybe an assassin just fixing crit really easily would have been a better play. Something like an occultist for an overall, more well-balanced thing. Or an inquisitor, just huge regen and really good crit. All of that sort of stuff, probably a lot better. But Scion, with the charges, it was kind of fun, kind of cool, and works well enough. As I mentioned in the previous video, I do think Cospris can be a very flexible thing, and you can do lots of different sort of setups with it and just still have some pretty good success. This was by no means one of the biggest ones out there. I think I've seen Cospris that low life and just shit on the entire game, and they can do wave 30 simulacrum like really easily. This one, it's okay. It was a decent attempt, I think, but nothing too special. Just a fun build, and Bladestorm in the end performed well enough. This here is just a small test of both setups being Ice Spear instead of Creeping Frost, and after I did test that for a bit, but I think Creeping Frost with the overlaps felt a bit nicer, and it definitely felt better for clear. If you're going to use just dual Ice Spear setups, for example, you need like a lot of pierce, or to use a snake pit and like chain everything instead, because otherwise the clear just becomes very sloppy. It leaves a lot of things behind, and the Creeping Frost is a large reason why the clear isn't that bad, because it's just a big AoE in a certain area, and yeah, even then my AoE is not terrific, but it's a lot better with the Creeping Frost. We then have just a few boss kills here or there, and showcasing some Bladestorm action. Bladestorm itself, in the end, I don't think really achieved much more than a Cyclone, because the idea is that I can at least throw out Bladestorms while being semi-ranged, but for the most part, the best proc rate you're going to have is when you're using the Blood Bladestorm and just putting it down basically in melee range. So the Sandstorms aren't too bad, and they can keep you pretty ranged, and it's not too bad like for extra bit of defensive bonus, but the proc rate is worse using those compared to the more melee setup. So you can see I'm still doing it here while trying to be a bit safer, but then when we want the real procs, we go in and drop some real Bladestorms. So other than that, those Cyclones just very melee, so if you're going to go that melee, you got to make sure you're backing it up with really good procs and really good DPS. And in the end, I took on most Ubers. I didn't try all of them, didn't bother trying Uber Exarch, didn't think that was going to be worth it. Did a couple of Mavens, but it is a pretty technical fight still. Since I don't brute force the DPS, I got to do some mechanics and stuff. And otherwise, the life pool, while not great, just having capped spell suppress and decent recovery and being a pretty mobile character, does means that I can tank some hits and do the mechanics well enough. But yeah, the proc rates did feel a bit weird with Sandstorm, and it's hard to know exactly how the proc ticks are going to work, because like it'll depend on the amount of Bladestorms you have up and all that, whereas Cyclone is something you can calculate a lot easier. So another boss fight that was pretty challenging for my dude was Uber Elder. I think I bricked one set and then did it in the next set. It's pretty technical once again, and these types of fights I think are typically going to be fairly technical unless you can face tank a lot or you can really overpower with DPS. If you're in between, then you're going to have to like do mechanics and try and live a bit, try and DPS a bit, etc. So it was a tough one. It's not great for Ubers, ultimately, this character, but it was capable of doing them all with a bit of practice. But it was really good for regular tier bossing, and I accidentally did a regular shaper while trying to do a Maven influence instead of an Uber, and yeah, it just wiped the floor with that. It's pretty rare that I go in and do regular bosses at this point, and it does really highlight how much easier that shit is and how far our characters have come in terms of power. That Ubers are the only thing that really stand in the way. So I did die plenty on some of these, but yeah, there is some learning curves and some good gameplay that is required for some of the Ubers if you're not overpowering them. Not sure what else to really mention about the character, so I did try Cirrus, didn't kill him. That was a tough one, and I just tried once and went, yeah, fuck that, not worth. Otherwise, I think I killed all the other Ubers and all the other content available. Never tried a simulacrum just because I can't really be bothered. It's, you know, first few waves are pretty boring and all of that. So, besides that, we then tried Uber Eater, and that one's just a bit of a mechanical fight where you can just keep running around him and doing pretty good mobility, but it was actually tough to get used to his new attacks, because basically for a lot of these Ubers you have to relearn it with the character you're currently playing, and with this character it had some really high mobility while also slowing down the enemy. So that 30% chill was kind of hard to get used to when he was doing his big laser, which caught me off guard the first time I attempted him, because lots of times that laser was just like turning too slowly, it was holding onto it for too long, and I'd get clipped, and it was a bit weird. This phase, though, is definitely pretty tough if you're not very tanky, because you really can't afford to take any hits. And being tanky means basically determination, molten shell, and some good recovery and stuff, which we don't have any of. So it's a bit of a pet peeve that Molten Shell is so goddamn good that whenever you're playing an invasion-based character, you do really feel like you're missing out on some big juice. And then lastly, I just ended up got this amulet off ROG, bought a mirror reflection tile since I've only had one this entire league, and it was like 3 weeks ago. Decided to just buy one for like a divine, smash it, and just show you the result, since plenty of people have been asking, and would like to see a good result for a change. This is the second sort of smash I've done. The first one I think was worth a few divine. This one probably worth anywhere from like 50 to 100. Ended up being a very nice amulet for some lightning, some cast speed, and life with some Doriani potential as well for the minus lightning. With that said, I'm just going to leave you with me graveyard zerging the Fid on this character, I guess. It is a bit of a graveyard zerg character for like endgame, is really only kind of good in a 1v1 situation. Lots at the same time is kind of difficult. Either way, enjoy the gachi, and thank you very much for watching. See you guys next time. Elementalist Scion is immune to reflect. Gachi's Halloween, by the way, if you didn't notice. Got horns. That went fine, dude. I had no flasks or anything left. Oh my god, she's healing, dude. That's so bad. I don't know what the fuck I can even do.
who I'm attacking or who I can kill. Yes! Alright, Elder's down. That's pretty good. And then Sheila's almost down.
I think I have your email address wrong. Like PayPal's saying it doesn't. Sorry, never mind.
Okay.
Did you know that smiles are the most easily recognizable facial expression? And used from 5 to 53 facial muscles.
This is fucked! Don't have any uptime right now. I went up and down accidentally. Fuck! Alright, we're almost there then. Fuck, accidentally. Fuck! I refreshed my Twitch stream. I've still got both dipshits that have ground effects. Okay, almost. Both Shaper and Atsiri are almost dead. No, stop it! Dude, the two ground DJ assholes dying last was so cancer.
Repeat my challenge.
What was Bridgestone? Okay, cool.